Founder-Acharya, Ashtotter, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrind ki. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Verse 18. So we are reading from Canto 10, Chapter 3, The Birth of Lord Krishna, verse 18. Ya atmano drishya gunesu sanyati. Ya atmano drishya gunesu sanyati. Vyavasyate swa yatirekato abuddha. Vyavasyate swa yatirekato abuddha. Vinanuvadam nachatan manisitam. Vinanuvadam nachatan manisitam. Samyagyatastyaktam upadadhat puman. Samyagyatastyaktam upadadhat puman. Yatmano drishya gunesu saniti. Vyavasyate swa yatirikato abuddha. Vinanuvadam nachatan manisitam. Samyagyatastyaktum upadadhat puman. Yatmano drishya gunesu sanniti. Mataji. Atmano drishya gunesu sanniti. Yes. Samyagya. Word for word translation. Yah, anyone who, Atmana, of his own real identity, the soul, Drishya Guneshu, among the visible objects, beginning with the body, Sun, being situated in that position, Iti, thus, Vyavas Yate, continues to act, Sva Vyati Rekhata, as if the body were independent of the soul. Abudha, her rascal, Vina Anuvadam, without proper analytic study, Na, not, Cha, also, Tat, the body and the other visible objects, Manisitam, such considerations having been discussed, Samyak, fully, Yata, because he is a fool, Tyaktum, are rejected, Upadhadat, accepts this body as reality, Puman, a person. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. One who considers his visible body, which is a product of the three modes of nature, to be independent of the soul, is unaware of the basis of existence, and therefore he is a rascal. Those who are learned have rejected this conclusion because one can understand through full discussion that with no basis in soul, the visible body and senses would be insubstantial. Nonetheless, although his conclusion has been rejected, a foolish person considers it a reality. Purport. We'll repeat the translation. One who considers his visible body, which is a product of the three modes of nature, to be independent of the soul, is unaware of the basis of existence, and therefore he is a rascal. Those who are learned have rejected this conclusion because one can understand through full discussion that with no basis in soul, the visible body and senses would be insubstantial. Nonetheless, although his conclusion have been rejected, a foolish person considers it a reality. Purport. Without the basic principle of soul, the body cannot be produced. So-called scientists have tried in many ways to produce a living body in their chemical laboratories, but no one has been able to do it because unless the spirit soul is present, the body cannot be prepared from material elements. Since scientists are now enamored of theories about the chemical composition of the body, we have challenged many scientists to make even a small egg. The chemicals in eggs can be found very easily. There is a white substance and a yellow substance covered by a shell. And modern scientists should very easily be able to duplicate all this. But even if they were to prepare such an egg and put it in an incubator, this man-made chemical egg would not produce a chicken. The soul must be added because there is no question of a chemical combination for life. Those who think that life can exist without the soul have therefore been described here as abudha, foolish rascals. Again, there are those who reject the body, regarding it as insubstantial. They are of the same category of fools. One can neither reject the body nor accept it as substantial. The substance is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and both the body and the soul are energies of the Supreme Godhead. As described by Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 7.4 and 5, Bhumi rapo nalo vayu kham mano buddhir evacha ahankariti yamme bhinna prakritim astada aparyam itastva anyam prakritim vidi me param jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam dharite jagat. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego, all together this eight comprise my separated material energies. But besides this inferior nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is a superior energy of mine, which consists of all living entities who are struggling with material nature and are sustaining the universe. The body therefore has a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just as the soul does. Since both of them are energies of the Lord, neither of them is false, because they come from the reality. One who does not know the secret of life is described as Abuddha. According to the Vedic injunctions, Aitadyatmayam idam sarvam khalav idam brahma. Everything is Supreme Brahman. Therefore, both the body and the soul are Brahman, since matter and spirit emanate from Brahman. Not knowing the conclusions of the Vedas, some people accept the material nature as substance, and others accept the spirit soul as substance. But actually, Brahman is the substance. Brahman is the cause of all causes. The ingredients and the immediate cause of this manifested material world are Brahman, and we cannot make the ingredients of this world independent of Brahman. Furthermore, since the ingredients and the immediate cause of this material manifestation are Brahman, both of them are truth, Satya. Therefore, there is no validity to the expression Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. The world is not false. Jnanis reject this world, and foolish persons accept this world as reality, and in this way both are misguided. Although the body is not as important as the soul, we cannot say that it is false. Yet the body is temporary, and only foolish materialistic persons who do not have full knowledge of the soul regard the temporary body as reality and engage in decorating this body. Both of these pitfalls, rejection of the body as false and acceptance of the body as all in all, can be avoided when one is fully situated in Krishna consciousness. If we regard this world as false and we fall into the category of asuras who say that the world is unreal, with no foundation and no God in control, asatyam apratishtham te jagad ahur anishwaram. As described in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this is the conclusion of demons. Om Agnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tashmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha. Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahaganaragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam. Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakalpatarobhyasya Prasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I'll read the verse again. One who considers his visible body, which is a product of three modes of nature, to be independent of the soul, is unaware of the basis of existence, and therefore he is a rascal. Those who are learned have rejected his conclusion Because one can understand that through full discussion that with no basis in soul, the visible body and senses would be insubstantial. Nonetheless, although his conclusion have been rejected, a foolish person considers it a reality. So, this section that we are reading, the chapter is called The Birth of Lord Krishna. So, Krishna has just appeared, and last chapter we heard about the prayers of the demigods. And now, here we see Krishna has just appeared, and he has appeared in four-handed form. So, Vasudeva and Devaki are surprised, not really surprised, but they are looking at the Lord in awe and reverence. And now Vasudeva is offering prayers to the Lord. So, the appearance of the Lord is not ordinary. The appearance of the Lord is divine. He does not appear like most of the babies in this material world appear. We are naked, we are crying, we are in pain, mother is in pain. But no, the Lord is blissful. So when Lord appears, it's all auspicious. And we heard in this chapter at the beginning, like how all the constellations, they realigned themselves so that the auspicious moment is there and everything is perfect. The weather was perfect, the sky was clear, the stars were shining bright, there was Rohini Nakshatra already formed. So everything was perfect for the Lord to appear. And in this situation, the Lord appears. And he does not appear as we do. He appears in his four-handed form with already ornaments and everything. He's looking bright and brilliant. So now, Vasudeva is offering these prayers. And while he's offering these prayers, he's also mentioning the condition of the living entities in the material world. So here he is saying that most of the people are suffering. And most of the people are in the illusion that we are enjoying and not regarding the soul. They are thinking body is all in all. Whatever, after the body is finished, everything is finished. So they are trying to enjoy. They don't even have the realization of the existence of soul. And so they are working hard throughout their life to decorate this body. But what happens? The body keeps on changing. The body from boyhood to youth to old age, and then dwindles and then dies. So people don't have the understanding of the soul. So this is what Vasudeva is mentioning here. So, and Srila Prabhupada goes one level further. He's explaining that people who think body is all in all are foolish, a Buddha. But at the same time, people who think body is not real, they reject the body. Those Gnanis who think the body is useless, they are also a Buddha. They are also fool. So both these conditions, both the people who accept the body as all in all and those who say body is useless, body is Jagan Mithya, everything is false, they are also fools. So the real understanding is, as it is mentioned here, that body and the soul both are real. Body is temporary, but the soul is eternal. So this translation and purport, when I was reading, I thought this very well matches with Bhagavad Gita. Which chapter? Anyone? Second, yeah? So the second chapter is basically speaking about body and soul. So we know in Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, Arjuna was in a dilemma. He asked Krishna, now there are both the armies, Kauravas and Arjunas, are aligned in front of each other. The fight is about to begin. Everybody has already blown their conch shell. And the fight is about to begin now. It was just like first arrow, who will shoot? And at that moment, Arjuna is telling Krishna, can you please take my chariot in the middle of both the armies so that I can see whom I'm supposed to fight with and who I'm supposed to shoot my arrows at first. And so he's taking, and Krishna is appearing as Parthasarthi, Bhakta Vatsalya. He's appearing as a driver, which is not a aristocratic position. He's appearing as a servant of his devotee. And he's taking the order from Arjuna, and he's taking the chariot in the middle of both the armies. And when Arjuna is looking at the armies, he realizes, oh my God, this is people whom I am going to kill are my friends, relatives, my brothers, my sons, my father-in-law. So these are all the people who are assembled on this battlefield. And they are going to be killed in this battlefield. So immediately there is compassion which comes in the heart of Arjuna. As a devotee does not harm anyone. It is mentioned, a devotee is, what is the nature of devotee? Mentioned in 5th chapter, I think. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Sunichena Swapakecha Pandita Sammadarshina. So the devotee or a learned person, he understands there is the same soul residing within Brahmana, a cow, a dog eater, and elephant, right? Hastini. So in all these, from lower to the higher creatures, everyone has got the same soul, same tattva. So he would not harm anyone. So that compassion arose in Arjuna. So he's thinking, I'll be killing all these people and they will be killing us. So he's full of compassion, and then he's thinking, if these all people are dead, like all the family members have gone, then whom I will enjoy the kingdom? Even if we win the kingdom, whom I'm going to enjoy with? So there is second thought coming. How will I enjoy? If these all people are dead, I'll be miserable, right? Without family and friends, we'll be miserable. Relatives and everyone is killed, we'll be miserable. So that second thought came. Compassion was there. Enjoyment, how will I enjoy? That is, he's thinking. Then third, he's saying, and if I kill all these people, so many people were there. So if I kill all these people, then again there will be sinful reactions which I'll have to go through. So he's thinking that way, that there will be, because of compassion, enjoyment, sinful reaction. And then he's thinking, all these elders who are assembled on this, these are all men. The Kuru dynasty, entire Kuru dynasty was present there, right? And many others were present there. So if everyone dies, who will look after the wives and children? And when they grow up, they will not have proper guidance, so they will fall down. So again he's thinking, family traditions will be lost. And then finally in this chapter, in second chapter, sorry, not in this chapter, but in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he is thinking, is confused. He's thinking that how will this work out? He's not able to understand, should he fight or should he not fight? So he's thinking, Karpana, he's telling Krishna, Karpana dosha pahata swabhava prachami tvam dharma samudha cheta yashreyasyan nishinan pruvitan me shishyasteyam sadhimam tam prapannam. I remember this verse was very difficult for me to memorize, and Bhakti Sahib Prabhu was taking my Vaiva when I was doing my Bhakti Sastri last time. So when I saw him, this verse immediately came in my mind, because he asked me, he was supposed to ask a couple of verses, and this is the verse he asked me. So somehow I answered, but this was the most difficult verse, and as soon as I saw him, I remember this. So anyways, Arjuna is surrendering onto Krishna. And at that point, it's interesting, Krishna in just 2 verses, first of all, Krishna chastises Arjuna. Until now, he hasn't spoken. Arjuna is already saying all this, like, my hands are trembling, I'm shivering, my Gandiva is slipping from my hands, and all this, he's telling all these things. Krishna is just trying to tell him, okay, you do your duty like that. And then now, as soon as Arjuna surrenders and accepts Krishna as his master, Sisyasteham sadhimam tam papanam, he's saying, I'm your disciple, now you guide me, what is good for me. Krishna takes the position of a guru, and he chastises him, asochan anvasochastvam pragnavagamsa bhasase. He's saying, you are speaking learned words, but it does not befit you. It's foolish. Where is this kasmalam? Where is this impurities come in you? And so he's chastising Arjuna. And then Krishna is speaking just two verses, which is 2.12 and 2.13, and he mentions about the philosophy which is given in this in this text. So he's saying, Natva evam jatu nasam natvam neme janadipa na chaivam na bhavishyama sarve vayam atha param. There was never a time when I did not exist, nor you, Arjuna, you did not exist, and all these kings did not exist. And never in future they will all cease to be. So Krishna is so expert. Just by speaking this verse, he has given the entire philosophy of the soul. The soul is eternal, he's saying. We were present before, we are present now, and we will be present in future. So there will never be a time where we did not exist. And in future, there will never be a time where we will cease to exist. So he's rejecting this philosophy which is given in this verse, that people who are materialists, they think this life is everything. We have to earn, we have to make sure we are healthy, wealthy, wise, whatever is in this life. They never think for the next life. But Krishna is saying, no, this is just an intermediate stage in our journey. So we always existed, we are there, and in future, and in the next verse he is saying, Dehi nosmin, the famous verse, right? Dehi nosmin, we all can sing together. Dehi nosvim yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namoyati. One of the most famous verses. This was the first verse which I memorized probably from Bhagavad Gita. So it mentions that as the embodied soul, and Srila Prabhupada puts the word so nicely. He says embodied soul. The soul is embodied, is put into this body, continuously passes from boyhood to youth to old age. So at the time of death, it moves into another body. The person who are intelligent, they are not bewildered by this change. So Krishna is giving these two verses and just completely explaining the philosophy of the soul. The first thing he mentioned was, we are eternal. We were present in millions or billions or trillions, existed eternally. We are present now, and in future also we'll be there. And now he's saying, even in this body, if you think that this is the only body, but even in this body, we have seen a change, right? When we were 5-year-old, were we in the same condition? No. When we were born, we were not in the same condition. The body was different. 5-year-old body was different, 10-year-old, 15-year, 20, 30, 40, whatever your age is. And in future also, our body will keep on changing, continuously changing. But the soul, we still remember 5 years, maybe because our consciousness was not so developed, so we don't remember right at the time of birth. Nobody comes, takes birth and asks for the time, what's the time now, right? Because the consciousness is not developed. But still, as soon as our consciousness is a little bit developed, we remember our 5-year-old things that we did, 10-year-old, 15, 20, we remember all those things. So the body has changed, but the soul has still been the same, the consciousness has been same, and again, after, we will still remain the same. So the analogy which is given is like of a mobile. So if you have a mobile, latest mobile, what is the latest mobile? 17, huh? Oh, you have it, yeah. But imagine you have got the latest mobile, but there is no SIM. No data. It's useless, right? You may have the latest mobile, you might have spent 2-3 grand. I think S26 Ultra is out, and it's a $3,000 phone. So you might have the latest phone, $2,000, $3,000 phone, but if there is no SIM, what is the use of that mobile? You might go out, but it is useless. You can use it for paperweight, that's all. Yeah. So the analogy is like that, like the body is like a mobile phone. You can decorate it, you can have the best of the clothes, best of the things, but if the SIM is considered to be as soul, if the soul is not in the body, I've seen in Christian tradition, when a person dies, they decorate the body as if it is his wedding or something, put the best royal suit and everything, like makeup and everything they do. So, what is the use? As soon as the person leaves the body, if the mobile does not have a SIM, the mobile is useless. So similarly, as soon as the soul leaves the body, you may decorate the body beautifully. You might have the best of the coffin. Yeah? Some people who are really rich, they have got golden handles and things on the coffin. But what is the use? The person is not going to enjoy it. Mobile without a SIM is useless. Without data, it's useless. So, it's like, data is like a consciousness. So, once the soul leaves, the consciousness is gone. The body is useless. And most of the people would tell you, the person has gone, he has gone. You say, no, person is still there, he's lying there, right? But everybody is crying, no, he is gone. So who has gone? It's not the person or the body. Body was not the person, as Prabhupada is mentioning here. You give the scientist all the ingredients, all the chemicals that are present. Scientists say that in the body there is so much of nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, water, this and this chemicals, amino acids, this acid, that acid. Yeah? You give them all of them. Somebody did a calculation some years ago. All these ingredients that are present in the body are worth $72. Is that what our worth is? $72? So can we go and ask for an insurance policy for $70? No. You can ask for the $1 million policy, right? So body is, it's not the body which is worth, but it's the soul which is worth. So you can give all the scientists everything, but they cannot create a living entity. Srila Prabhupada is saying, there is egg. You can give, there are 3 ingredients, yellow substance, white substance, and the shell. You give these ingredients to the scientists, they might be able to create a plastic egg, but it will not produce chicken. So, until a soul enters the body is useless. The scientist cannot produce even, and Srila Prabhupada has mentioned this so many times, I challenge the scientist just to produce a small fly, which is independent in itself. So, what is the verse in Ishopanishad which mentions? Om Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat Purnam, Udachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. So what does that mean? That everything that is emanating from the Lord is whole and complete. And the Lord also remains complete. In the material world, if you have got 10 mangoes, you remove 5 mangoes. How many mangoes remain? 5. But in the complete whole, when you are speaking about the absolute truth, so many millions of universes are emanating from Him, but still the Lord remains complete whole. It does not reduce the quantity or quality of the Lord. So many millions of universes are emanating from the Lord, but still the Lord remains complete. And each of those units which are emanating from the Lord, they are also complete in itself. Imagine from Mahavishnu, so many universes are coming. And the Lord enters into each of those universes as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. But still the Mahavishnu does not become lesser than what he is. Even though he has expanded himself as so many millions of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, there are many multiple millions, billions, trillions of atoms and molecules, and everything is emanating. And each of them he enters as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. But still he does not become any lesser. And not only that, he is accompanied by each and every living entity as a super soul within his heart. Right from the smallest fly to the biggest elephant or anyone, any human living entities. Like in all the living entities, the Lord enters, assists the soul as super soul, but he still remains complete. And each of those living entities are also complete in itself. So, here we see that this argument is rejected, that body is all in all. So, without the existence of the soul, the body cannot exist. So there are materialists who are thinking body is everything and who do not believe in soul, and there are impersonalists who think body is false, only soul exists. Another example is given of a driver. So when we drive a car, so the car moves. So when the car is moving, we know that there is a driver inside. Of course, we are now getting into the phase where there are driverless cars. But still, it is illegal for a car to just drive by itself. There has to be a person sitting behind the steering. So when the car is moving, then we know that there is a driver within it. So similarly, when a body is moving, there has to be a soul. The body cannot move by itself. We are into the phase of artificial intelligence, robotics. We see like there is a dog made who moves by itself. In robotics, they have designed a dog and the robots who are moving by themselves. But still, they are limited by what they are programmed. And they have to be programmed by whom? A living entity. They are designed by a living entity. It's not that they just appeared from the ocean by themselves. No, but they've got limitations. They cannot work independently. So they need to be charged, they need to be given instruction, they need to be timely, the software updates have to be done. So there is a lot of maintenance which is required just to make a dog run. So many millions of dollars are spent just to have one robot. But to make one human, how many dollars is required? Not much, right? We see them everywhere, right? So Lord is not charging us for making humans, but to just make one robot to just run around, there are millions of dollars spent just to do something which is not really substantial. So science cannot create life. It can create some illusion of life, but it cannot create life. As again, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, gave the example of egg, because only life can produce life. There is a book, small book, Life Comes From Life. So only from life one can have another life, not otherwise. And that too, the soul has to enter into the body for the body to work independently. And then Srila Prabhupada gives mentions two verses in this 7.4 and 7.5, which says that material energy and spiritual energy, they are his energy. He says, Bhumir apo nalo vayur kham mano buddhir evacha ahankaritiyam me bhinna prakritim astada. So this 8 elements, Bhumir apo nalo vayu, earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego. This 8 constitute my material energy, which is the inferior energy of the Lord. So it's not that they are false. It is real because it is coming from the Lord. So it is real. We can see this is earth, right? It is real. It's not illusory. Water, we can see it is real. When we drink, it quenches our thirst. So all these elements are real. Our body is made out of these 8 elements. So it is real, but they are temporary. And what is Krishna saying in the next verse? Aparam itastva anyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhuta mahabaho yayadam dharete jagat. So there is another energy of mind which is superior energy. So Krishna is saying about the living entities, human. So they are of the superior energy of mind, but they are exploiting the material energy. So both these energies, Krishna is saying, are real. And as Srila Prabhupada has mentioned, they are Brahman. They're coming from spirit. So as the Jnanis mention that Jagat Mithya, it's not true. That this Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya, Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. So it's not to Brahma Satyam. So only Brahman exists. Everything in the material world is Mithya, false. And living entity is Brahman. Everything is one. So again, the Jnanis, they are also, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, they are also misguided. They don't understand that the living entity is separate from material. Living entity is the material energy, living entity is the superior energy, and the material energy is the inferior energy. So the example is given of the sun and sunlight. So we may see that the sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening. So a child may think that the sun is taking birth every morning and dying every evening or disappearing every evening, but that's not the real. The intelligent person or the person who has studied science knows that the sun is moving around, and it's just the perception that he appears and disappears. So it's not temporary. The sun is existing permanently. It's only the appearance and disappearance is illusory for a person. So whatever we see, there is, if one thinks the body is the only means, then he's missing one point. There was a sadhu, one person went to the sadhu and asked the sadhu, "Can I take your photograph?" And he said, "You may be able to take my photograph, but you will not be able to see me in that photograph." So what does that mean? That you may be able to take my photograph of my body, but who really I am, you cannot see in that photograph. So this is the person who understands that, as it is mentioned, dehinosmin yatha de komaram yavananjara tatha dehantarva dhiras tatra namuyati. The intelligent person or the sadhu, saintly person, understands that this body is not me. The soul residing within the body is the real identity of a self. So we may have, it's like the digital identity. We may have digital identity. These days, when you want to sign a document, you don't need to physically go in front of the banker or anything. You just create your digital identity and you sign it online. Everything is online these days. So we are moving from personal feature to impersonalism. Everything is moving towards impersonalism. I remember, and especially in India, like if you want just a loan or even to open an account, you have to go to the bank just to open an account. But here we see not only opening the account, but entire loan process, you don't have to go in front of anyone. It's all online. So we are not understanding, like the whole environment, everything is becoming impersonal. So these days, I wouldn't be surprised if a person dies, even then after that you can open an account for him if you have got all the documents and things. So that's where we are getting into. So Srila Prabhupada is giving the conclusion. What is the real understanding then? So the body is real, the soul is real, but the body is temporary and the soul is eternal. So it's not that body is useless. Srila Prabhupada is saying body needs to be taken care of, because body is the means by which the soul can perform or act in this material world and perfect his existence. So body is to be looked at, and Krishna is mentioning in Bhagavad Gita, yuktaharam viharasya. He's saying that he who is regulated in his habit of eating, sleeping and recreation is a yogi. So it's not that eating has to be rejected, sleeping has to be rejected, recreation has to be rejected. No, it has to be regulated. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita that one has to regulate these things, and by this one can perform yoga. He can perfect his life. So body is a tool for performing devotional service. For our devotees, we know that we don't misuse the body, but we use the body in the service of the Lord. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. So that is the real understanding or use of the body. We look after the body so that we can serve the Lord. So it's not that we reject the body or we reject the soul. So the real understanding is understanding the soul is who I am, and I use this body as a vehicle to perform devotional service, to serve the Lord. And both are the energies of the Lord. So we understand everything is the energy of the Lord. What is another verse in Ishopanishad, the second verse? The first verse. That was invocation. Ishavashyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita magradakasya svidanam. So we accept what is our quota and use that quota in the service of the Lord, understanding that it belongs to the Lord. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. Everything belongs to the Lord. So we use whatever the facilities we have received from the Lord and use it in the service of the Lord. So that is the real understanding, yukta vairagya. That is real utilization of, and that is real renunciation, where we use everything in the service of the Lord. Okay, I'll stop here. Are there any questions or comments? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you had mentioned the verse Dehi Nosmanyatade hai, and you had given the example that we decorate this material body, and even sometimes for people who are rich, they tend to even decorate their own coffins when they pass away. Prabhuji, sometimes we see we have relatives and they hold big functions, like sometimes they hold weddings, and for that we have to decorate our body, go to the parlor, get the clothes and stuff. And then this verse keeps coming in our head, this instruction keeps coming in our head that we shouldn't decorate the body. At the end of the life, ultimately it's the soul that is eternal. So how do we take this instruction?
Yeah, so we have got all the functions, festivals. Even on the festivals, Srila Prabhupada said the ladies have to decorate their bodies. And by that, they keep their husbands in check. So it's not that we don't decorate the bodies, but the understanding is this body is not who I am really. I am the soul, I am the spirit soul. So occasionally when we are going into the birthday parties or weddings or something, we decorate ourselves. And as devotees also, Prabhuji decorates his body with tilak every morning, right? So as devotees, we all decorate our bodies. But we are understanding that this body is not me. It is the temple which is given by the Lord, assigned to us, and for us to carry out the devotional service. So even if you are decorating, when you are going into the wedding and decorating your body, do you miss your rounds? No, we still chant our rounds. So understanding that, we still put on tilak, we still understand that this body, and all of us are wearing nice clothes, right? It's not that, and that is what Srila Prabhupada is warning. Don't be a gnani, don't reject these things. Yukta vairagya is using everything. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharam yonjata. Nirbandha Krishna sambandhe. See everything in relationship to the Lord. And then, even if you are decorating your body, you understand this is for the pleasure of the Lord. So everything has to be done in the mood of pleasure of the Lord. Yat karoshi, yad nasi, yad juosi, dadasi, yad tapasyaji kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whatever you do, you offer it to me. Whatever you give away, whatever you acts you perform, you do it as an offering to me. So even if you are decorating your body with the best of the clothes, put on makeup, everything, but you have to understand this is for you, Krishna. The gopis used to decorate their bodies, right? But it was exclusively for Krishna. But of course, we are not on that level. But at the same time, we have to understand that we do things for the pleasure of the Lord. So if that is the consciousness we are living in, then there's no point looking after there is nothing wrong in looking after the body. Yeah. Okay, we'll stop here. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.